Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV Edition. I am Peter, that is Tim. I almost forgot Tim's name there. We talk about horror TV shows. We are working our way through Tales from the Crypt, of course, and this is going to be Season 4, Episode 5. It's called Beauty Rest, so full spoilers for the episode as always. This is an episode about a struggling, well, I would have said actress, but all the jobs they seem to be going for seem to be more modelling and advertising related.
Yeah,
But it could
I
be a
think
mix of both. So.
I think she's doing like some commercial stuff, which I guess you would be acting for, but it's more like a spokesperson kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So Mimi Rogers plays the lead character Helen, who's the struggling. See, I'll just say actress because I don't know what else to say and to be short about it. But she's a struggling actress, and we see her in this audition, and she almost gets the part. The director loves her, tells her, "Oh, you're definitely getting it." But then she cuts to the scene with the agent, and the agent's like, "Nah, you didn't get it."
Do you know who the director reminded me of?
I don't. Was it a little bit of Tommy Wiseau?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it a little bit. Didn't have the accent, of course, but it was yeah, a little bit.
There's like a similar look and like a similar, I guess, kind of energy about him.
So she's pissed. She's pissed that she's not got the role. And then the little twist here in this scene is it's actually her roommate who's got the role, and she kind of immediately implies that her roommate gets a lot of roles, including a lot of the ones that she goes for, because she sleeps her way to them. She has sex with the director or whoever's making the calls. And that's kind of what she confronts her at home, and it kind of gets dark when she basically gives her sleeping pills so she can go and take her place to a rigged beauty pageant where she's already slept with whoever's in charge to get the win. But the person, they don't know what she looks like though. She's just got this note she's meant to hand in. So she drugs her roommate, goes to the beauty pageant, and then shenanigans ensue from there. So I guess I'll ask the question, Tim. Did you enjoy Beauty Rest?
I did. I thought it was basically a better version of the Neon Demon.
Whoa! Shut your whore mouth! What? No! No! Shut up! Explain that statement, you peasant!
Just because like it's a lot about like models and you have like this kind of I assume that the main character was like a little older and that's why she's kind of jealous of her younger upstart getting all these jobs and stuff.
Hold on a second. I get all this. It's the word better that I'm disputing here, Tim. The word better is what I want explained. How dare you?
I'm just trying to twist you up a little bit. No, it was.
I'm twisted. It's going to be like a corkscrew going right through your eye in a minute. That's how twisted I am.
It was okay. I had a little bit of fun with the episode. It has kind of a weird ending. Like
it does have a weird ending. So I can't explain the ending at all. It just kind of happens. It's almost like they said, "Oh, we need to have the comeuppance happen." Tales from the Crypt episodes typically end with, and then it was just like, "Oh, what do we do?" And it's like, "Oh, we'll just do that," and that's it. So
and I kind of saw, like, I guess I mean it's Tales from the Crypt, so it's not like it's hard to guess, but I knew something bad was going to happen, especially with the way the note reads. It's like, give it to her.
Because it kept they kept saying, "Oh, so the winner of this pageant is going to be given this job, being a representative for this thing," but they kept avoiding what it was. So I assumed whatever it was going to be really bad, like a really negative thing. Maybe not as absurdly dark as it was, but like maybe it was like, "Oh, you're now the spokesperson for sexually transmitted disease control" or something like that, and like your face would be on all those posters, something like that would kind of like rub her the wrong way. But instead, it's just this random thing that, like, I didn't even realize that's what the pageant was even like. There was no hints that the pageant was about anything this. Even taking out the extreme thing, but even just the subject of like beauty's on it's what in the inside what matters, right? Even that message, I didn't even get the impression that's what the pageant was leaning to, even in a sort of normal way, where it's like, no, we're not celebrating the usual things kind of idea. It was weird.
Yeah, or maybe you could have had like more people maybe going up to her and making weird comments, being like, "Oh, like I can't wait to dig into you," or something like. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
we're dancing around it. The ending is basically so she wins the part, or she's going to win, right? But so they take her away because they want to plan it in advance. So they take her away for this closing ceremony, and they strap her to a table, and this weird guy like starts like putting various makeup on her, and she's like, "This is too much. What are you doing?" And then the other guy injects her with something, and then it cuts to the finale where the guy introduces her as the winner and as the queen or whatever, and she's dead, and her entire torso's been ripped open, and you see all of her organs. And it's like it's in the inside that counts, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Nothing built to this. Nothing led to this whatsoever. You just did this as your ending.
And so you find out the name of the beauty pageant, which is like Miss Autopsy. I think it was
Mhm.
1992.
Yeah.
Um, but then it's kind of weird though, because it's like, okay, so are these all like morticians that are having their own pageant or something, or are they just like
I
a
don't know.
weird clandestine group
This
of
is the thing.
people?
Until the very last scene, like no one, like nothing even hints at it. None of the other girls know what they're there for. I mean, presumably because they don't want to be dead. I imagine, but it felt so out of nowhere.
I
I also think it's kind of just an okay episode. I think it would have been a bad episode, but it's saved somewhat by Mimi Rogers, who plays Helen. I
Oh
actually
yeah.
think she's quite good.
Hmm.
Her reactions to stuff, her getting sort of like over the top, and like so like even when she goes home and she's talking to her roommate and she's like pissed about all these different jobs, and then she's even more pissed when like the roommate doesn't even know she got this part yet. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't even know I got that part. Oh, that's amazing. And then she's like, I got a note. I'm winning this pageant. And as she's telling her all this stuff, she's raiding the fridge. Like Helen's raiding the fridge to like comfort eat. And she's like
Yeah.
eating bits of chicken, and she's like shoving ice cream in her face, and she's doing it all kind of in an angry way. And the whole thing's actually very entertaining. She's really good at sort of doing all this and like doing all the
Yeah.
lines in between, and like it. There's almost like a not a dance, but like you feel like this had to be choreographed. The way she's like picking out all these different
Oh yeah.
items of food and she's like eating them in between lines. It worked really well. And then when she gives her the sleeping pills, and then like she's accidentally killed her, and like there's a moment of like I accidentally killed her. Oh well, and she goes off. And then, like, the other girl accuses her of sleeping ahead to get ahead because she hears about the note and she thinks
Mhm.
she's rigged it, and she like makes a sexual harassment sort of threat, like a lawsuit threat towards the showrunner, and this pisses Helen off, of course. So Helen sneaks into her dressing room and strangles her. It's like, you want to know what type of girl I am? I'm this type of girl, and she's strangles her to death. Um,
And I did actually thought that that was kind of a cool shot where like as she's talking to her, you kind of see like her hand tightening around the piece of cloth or whatever she's gonna strangle her with, and it made like a cool sound.
Yeah, I think by this point they set up how far she was willing to go. And as much as I greatly dispute the use of the word better, I do kind of get the comparison to Neon Demon, because kind of the point of this episode, what it's commenting on, is how cutthroat this like beauty industry is, of just looking pretty and doing the lines and being this. And I think that's why it's important that it's not actually acting. It's not about
Yeah,
putting on a performance the same way an actress does for a movie or a TV show, or theatre or whatever. It's This is purely the jobs where you stand there and hold the item and just be the
mm.
pretty thing that's holding it. And I think this is. I think there was like a satire here. It's like a commentary on all this stuff.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
I don't know if it's super deep. Like I feel like it's so goofy and kind of like maybe, and the final point's not well, because that's what the final moment's getting at. Of course, is because she like the whole idea is what in the inside that what counts. It's almost like this double satire where it spins it around and says, "Oh, you're stupid. It's not what's on the inside, because this is what the inside's like, and it's disgusting and awful, and you're
yeah.
dead." It feels like it's almost putting a negative spin on that, which is weird. But
And it's kind of a weird episode in that
although now I'm thinking about it, actually, it's not so much that it's putting a negative spin on it. It's this is what's inside her. Inside her, there's murder.
yeah.
So actually,
Yeah,
in a weird way, the ending kind of works. I mean, don't get me wrong. The actual event of her being ripped open and that's what they're doing is complete bullshit because it's out of nowhere. But at
yeah,
least the message of it, where okay, she keeps saying all episode is no, it shouldn't be about how pretty you are. It's about what's in the inside that counts. So at the end of the episode, it's like, well, yeah, you've murdered people, so we're going to show what's in the inside of you, and it's this brutal murder. So okay, that kind of works. Okay, I'll give it some props for that.
yeah. I do kind of question though that like if they were going that deep or if they literally were just like, hey, yeah, let's just make this Miss Autopsy so we can like show some guts and stuff
I
and
agree. It doesn't
play that
necessarily
like a
it
satire song.
it doesn't necessarily feel like all this was intended necessarily, but I at least reading into it and thinking about it, I can kind of see what a possible intent was there. It does feel really random at the end of the episode, though. It doesn't feel like anything builds up to it.
But it is a little strange though that it's one of the more like this is an episode where the I guess maybe the more normal like less Tales from the Crypty stuff is actually a little more interesting than the ending with the gore and the comeuppance. Like it's like, oh, that's just kind of a tacked on little thing to close out the episode, but I'm actually a little more invested in this character, like
Yeah.
her world, and as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah, like I said, I think her performance kind of saves what might have otherwise been a kind of dull episode. It is directed by Stephen Hopkins. You're saying, who's Stephen Hopkins? Well, he's the acclaimed director of Predator 2.
Oh,
For the record.
I like Predator too.
I like Predator 2 as well, actually.
Yeah.
He's not done a whole lot of other things. He did one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Like he's not sort of a director who's... But I recognise the name. I knew that this was Predator 2 director, so...
Another movie that kind of ends with finding out what's on the inside that counts.
Sure.
When the Predator takes off his mask, and you're like, oh, he's just like us.
I'm pretty sure that's not the line of dialogue that comes out of Danny Glover's mouth. I'm pretty sure. So
I thought it was also cool. The people that they got for this, because I don't know like much about like early '90s like models and stuff, but I did recognize Kathy Ireland as like, oh, I think that was like a famous like swimsuit model or something.
Oh, was she?
Back in the day?
I was 3 at the time of this, so I was this was pre my days of ogling at the attractive ladies. Clearly you were already a pervert by this time, and that's why you're...
I'm not, I wasn't ogling her, but it's just someone that like a name through like pop culture osmosis, like oh yeah, like I know Cindy Crawford is like a famous model or something. And I wasn't sure if, obviously, like Mimi Rogers is an actress, but I wasn't sure if the other lady, if maybe she was another model.
I don't
possibly,
think so. Jennifer Rubin sounds familiar. Like, oh yeah, she's been in some movies. She was in Screamer. She was in Nightmare on Elm Street 3. She was the sort of the punk rock
like the
chick.
punk one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Nightmare 3. That's pretty
Oh,
good.
nice.
I never recognised her, but now that I'm seeing like the photos of her with the hair sticking up, I'm like, yeah, that's her. Cool. And she apparently quitted acting. Oh no, she came back in 2013, 2014 for a couple of things, but otherwise she's not really been acting much since 2000.
Oh, interesting.
Guess she found other things to do with her time.
But yeah, it's not a particularly there isn't like a lot of cool gore or like interesting like supernatural stuff or anything going on.
Which is fine,
but,
because as you said, the rest of the stuff's actually more interesting in this episode, and that's okay if that's what you want it to be. Because ultimately, I mean, the fact that she's murdering people to get ahead is enough to make it Tales from the Crypt. Like that's enough to make you feel like it's part of that world. Especially since there's a sort of little bit of humor and stuff as she's doing it, and there's kind of a wackiness to it. So, I do think it's a bit of a shame though. We seem to be in this bit of a rut of like okay episodes, like not great, not bad, but just okay. We seem to be in a nice long stream of them right now. I'm hoping that we'll break that trend soon.
Yeah, I do feel like it's a show that kind of goes in like waves, I guess, where I can't really think of like a time where it's like, man, that was like a great season. Like every episode was great. I feel like a lot of times you'll get 2 or 3 good episodes in a row, then maybe 1 or 2 bad, then maybe like 2 or 3 okay ones.
Yeah, just kind of the way it is. But well, I guess that's beauty rest. So Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support us, you can go over to patreon.com/mildfuzztv. You can see some of the bonuses you can get over there, including getting these Tales from the Crypt reviews a week early. That's one thing you can do. So that is us, though. So otherwise, thanks for watching. Keep watching TV, and we will see you next time.